Emily was a bright girl from Brighton, born with stars in her eyes and ambition stitched into every breath. From a young age, she believed success meant money, followers and fame. Her bedroom walls were filled with vision, boards, mansions, red carpets, brand deals. By 16, she was already chasing modelling, gigs and growing her online presence. She skipped birthdays and beach days for auditions and algorithms. The world applauded her hustle, calling her a rising star. But behind the filtered smiles, she began to feel an ache she couldn't name, a restlessness she refused to confront. By 21, Emily had everything she thought she wanted of a popular Instagram: sponsors, invitations to exclusive events. She walked into rooms lit by flashes, but left them feeling more invisible than ever. Her bank account grew, but so did her emptiness. Conversations were hollow, connections superficial. The thrill of attention became addictive. But exhausting, she started measuring her worth by likes and deals, shrinking her identity to pixels and applause. She'd stare at the mirror wondering if people liked her or just the mask she wore. Still, she pushed on. Success, she told herself, always comes with sacrifices. Then came the fall. A scandal, minor and misunderstood, turned into a media storm. Her sponsors pulled back. Followers vanished overnight. Tabloids fed on her pain, twisting stories. Friends ghosted her, unwilling to be caught in the backlash. For the first time, Emily felt the silence of irrelevance. She sat alone in her London flat, refreshing notifications that never came. Her identity, built on validation, crumbled. She had no idea who she was without the spotlight. The girl who once controlled rooms now struggled to leave her bed. Her dream hadn't just died, it had consumed her completely. Emily fled to the countryside and to a forgotten cottage her grandmother once owned. No signal, no spotlight, just trees that didn't care who she was. The days were painfully quiet at first. She cried over tea, mourned her past, and wrote letters she never sent. She read books she once ignored and cooked without photographing the food. She started painting for herself. Clumsily at first, then freely. There was no one to impress. Just her. Slowly, the fog lifted. She began to smile again, not for cameras, but because life, in its simplest form, had started to mean something. One afternoon, Emily found a journal tucked in an old drawer at her grandmother's. Page after page spoke of joy found in gardens, love notes left on windowsills, and the pride of quiet integrity. There was no mention of fame or money, yet each sentence radiated peace. Emily read those words again and again, tears falling as she realized her grandmother had been the happiest woman she'd known, and she'd never chased the world. It struck her then. Maybe success wasn't out there. Maybe it was found in honest work, warm conversations, and being enough just as you are. Inspired, Emily began volunteering at the Yai village school, helping children paint, read and dream. They didn't know her past or care. They loved her for her kindness, her laughter, and how she listened. For the first time, Emily felt truly seen. She took up gardening, wrote poetry, even started a tiny blog about slow living. The irony? Her following grew again, but now it didn't matter. The numbers didn't define her. She was no longer performing. She was living. She no longer chased success. She cultivated meaning. And in that space, something miraculous bloomed. Self-respect. People from her past reached out, curious about her transformation. Some didn't understand it. You could have had everything, they said. Emily would smile gently. I already do. She wasn't trying to prove anything anymore. Her days were filled with purpose, not pressure. Her nights were quiet, not crowded. Her worth wasn't hanging on applause. She had failed the dream the world gave her, but succeeded in finding the one her soul needed. And that made all the difference. Losing everything didn't break her, it broke her free. Years later, Emily wrote a book, The Dream. That saved me. It wasn't a bestseller, but it reached those who needed it. Strangers wrote letters saying how her story helped them breathe again. It wasn't fame she had now, it was impact. She met people who weren't chasing anything anymore, just trying to be whole. And every time she shared her journey, she reminded them, it's okay to step off the stage. It's okay to change your mind. It's okay to begin again. Real dreams don't ask you to lose yourself. They lead you home. Emily's life remained, small by the world's standards, but rich beyond measure. Her days were filled with morning sunrises, handwritten letters, and walks through wild meadows. She had fewer things, but deeper peace, less noise, but clearer meaning. Looking back, she didn't regret the fall. It had been her greatest gift, the doorway to rediscovering who she really was. She had spent years performing for love. She didn't need chasing a version of herself that never existed. But now she was whole, not because of what she gained, but because of what she let go. The dream she lost had nearly drowned her, but the life she found saved her. Emily now believed that sometimes the wrong dream must collapse for the right life to begin. Success wasn't in applause, but in authenticity. It wasn't in being admired, but in being at peace. She learned that the quietest dreams are often the truest, and every morning, as she sipped her tea and watched the sunrise, she'd whisper to herself with quiet joy, "This is enough.